Hello everyone, my name is AP the Weird One, and we are back with episode 8 of Full Metal Panic! We have a filler episode from the main story, and oh boy, is this one... We are off to a bad start, I'm gonna say this. It's not funny, the light novel does a way better execution. Let's get into it. Alright. So... The main premise of this episode, basically, is a girl by the name of Mizuki gets dumped by her boyfriend. Her boyfriend goes after Chidori, and it doesn't end up well. She kind of Chidori rejects her, or Kamina rejects him, and then a slew of events happen, and she basically convinces Sakura to do said thing. I'll explain more about basically it is, and it's the girl Mizuki and Sakura and basically Kami and her three friends going on a date together, and that ends up basically in ruin. How you might ask how this goes so badly? Well, let's get into the meat and potatoes. So, the novel, the anime, it begins with showing each of the showing Kamina's and Sosuke's, like, what they bring to school, which I absolutely love detail, though I would have put it a little bit sooner. We'll get to why. But yeah, you basically see this. Then you get to the part where Shira asks out Chidori, and she says, like, no. He seems a bit forceful. Sosuke steps in and basically puts a gun to his head. I would have preferred if, he really didn't need to do that. All you got to do is hold his arm and twist it. I think that would have sent enough message, but I do like that part of the anime. Now, where do I have the problem? It's what happens next. You see Mizuki in the corner of her eye kind of like getting angry. It's like, okay. So, and then like a slew of events basically happen. Like, someone is being accused of sending fake messages about Chidori, like spreading rumors. We see the girl as like from a distance, Mizuki like leering at her and like her presence. And the blackmail, we're not even sure who it does. Maybe it's Mizuki, maybe it's the guy, although it's not Shira. We do find out later. Like, it's Sosuke interrogates him, which I think is a great plan. If you hear rumors about the girl, then what he does, I think, is perfectly reasonable. Chidori sees differently, but I disagree. And then it's Mizuki. She comes and tries to rescue him. He's like, no, screw you. And then we get cut to Sosuke playing a dating game because he's not very good with handling certain situations, which I guess I could see the build-up, but I feel like you could have done it a little bit better, I guess. I don't know. It's just a weird order of events, and maybe this one should have saved later, much like how it is in the short story. It's not the first short story we get. It's in the novel, it is... it is the fourth short story in the series. My boyfriend is a specialist. Now, how you might ask how it is done in a light novel? Well, the first scene is Mizuki and Shira breaking up, and Mizuki ordering a whole bunch of food to his place, which I'm thankful in today's modern age, because I believe, or at least in America, you have to pay for the food first before it gets to the house. So, like, you at least get paid for it. In the novel, it seems like differently. Like, she just wants to leave a whole bunch of rotting food around. Okay. Whatever. I don't know. I see what she was trying to do, but I'm wondering who's paying for it, because she has it ordered to his house, not through her, and I would think you would provide credit card information or something, or means of payment. I don't know. I can see why, like, maybe in Japanese time it's differently. Like, you didn't have the credit cards on hand. It was a lot cheaper back then to order food, no problem. But if you're ordering pizza or anything here in America, even I think at that time. No, you have to say you have to pay with cash. I remember I remember now. I'm remembering. You could pay with cash or credit card. You have to receive cash or not, or you don't get the food. So I would think that if they're ordering a whole bunch of food, they would just leave and not just carry the food back, whatever, instead of laying the food around her. I, uh, I don't know. I see the intention. To me, it doesn't necessarily work in my mind. And anyway, from there, this scene would be appropriate, but how it does in light novel is it's a rainy day and Chidori sees Sosuke in the student council room and he's playing a dating game and he's trying to figure out. It's like, okay, and that's when Mizuki comes in, lays her spiel, and then Sosuke agrees, like, well, I'm gonna do this because I have no experience and I suck at this video game, so maybe be very educational. I would have liked that better because then it makes Mizuki a little bit better person in the long run. So I just wished it was better order event. And then you could detailed scenes a little bit better. I don't know. I think this short story should have been saved for a little bit later. I mean, we do get the fact that Sosuke is not the most is the most delinquent when it comes to handling actual high school, but maybe we could have saved this for a little bit later. That's just my personal opinion, like I stated. Anyway, going on to the episode and basically how it is in the anime, they go over to Chidori's house and just, plan Sosuke's gonna pretend to be Shira, and they discuss, his character, things that he absolutely likes, boys buys clothing, all that sort of stick, and then the following day they go on the actual date with the friends. In the light novel, the friends don't actually have names; they're just red, green, yellow, and they actually give characters, and they just kind of go on their happy little day. Sosuke being the wartime person, he has to sit near a window. He can't sit near a window; he's got to sit in a special place. They go see a wartime movie. They do some karaoke. I think the karaoke is a little expanded upon in the light novel. Actually, I knew it for the fact. That's kind of a good fun moment. I feel like it's executed better in the light novel. Just in terms of the imagery. Un memento. I don't know. I just like it, but the black and white comes off better in the light novel. So yeah, I feel like it's executed better in the light novel as opposed to the anime. I mean, you still get the exact same thing, but I don't know, just something about the black and white color, black and white just does it better. And I think you get the better facial expressions. Also, since I'm here, I guess we could see the character. This is Mizuki. Oh, oops. Back to small screen. This is Mizuki. But so they do that. The funnier bit is when they're doing a claw machine and Sosuke's about to break it open with his gun, and Chidori stops him. That's the funny bit. And then from there they kind of run it. They go in a little parking area, and they run into Shira and his run into a lady friend or whatever, and Kamina and Sosuke get rid of him. And then the three friends is this your boyfriend and everything? And she's like, of course. And it's like, well, then kiss him and prove it. And Sosuke's like, this is the kissing one, right? He's asking Chidori. He's like, yeah. And he just straight up does it. And because there's the rule, you got to ask a girl's permission first, or the girl has to show some interest in it. That happens. Once she realizes this happened, she just slaps him away, and then she runs off. And her friends are like, yeah, she may be a selfish biatch, but okay. We'll chase after her. And Kami is a little bit angry, but, she kind of understands. The light novel makes a little bit more sense because Sosuke tells about, I've kissed plenty of men, and it's, more for resuscitation. So that it's a little clearer in the light novel, but not a big deal. Not a big deal in the anime aspect. And she when after he gets out of the water, she leans over to give a kiss, but because Sosuke is so stupid, he doesn't get it, and then it's left hanging. She's of course angry, and that's basically the end. That's the end of the episode. One of the gags they established in this episode is Kamini comedy. I'm just gonna say Chidori. Just her last name's easier to say. Slaps Sosuke over the head with a fan, and that's put like the establish that comedy bit. I hate the order of this events, especially in the beginning, and the comedy for this series is not my favorite. When I was reading the short stories like in the beginning, it comes off a lot funnier written form, at least in terms of the first volume. And the second volume is like, okay, I am done with this. I don't think the comedy is good, but I appreciate the main series, which I think is the point, and I do want to collect everything that has this series have to offer in terms of the written material, or light novel material. We'll say that. But yeah, I'll leave it there. That's the end of this episode. Hopefully, you guys have a rest of a wonderful Friday. I'll see you guys next time, and hopefully we'll get back onto the main course. If not, we'll see. But yeah, have a wonderful day, and catch you guys later.